Hello and welcome to Midsummer's Music's 30th anniversary season, a virtual season, but full of amazing music, whether or not we can be there in person. I'm Lori Skelton from Wisconsin Public Radio. I'm actually sitting in my office, the music library at Wisconsin Public Radio. Behind me, there's a wall of vinyl. And in front of me, there is this brand new technology that is bringing us all together. So I thought it was a good juxtaposition. We are meeting for concerts with Midsummer's Music, doing one of the things I think Midsummer's Music does best, bringing us composers we are not necessarily familiar with. And in this case, it's three women, Trois Compositrices, three women, all who are either French or have French-sounding names, and all are whom amazing composers, and we get to hear amazing musicians perform their music. Our thanks first to the MMG Foundation, to Sandy Zingler and Barb Johnson for sponsoring these concerts. And of course, we want to thank the Donald and Carol Kress Pavilion, which is where all of our artists are playing this concert. If you'd like more information on the musicians, on the composers, or on the pieces that you're going to be hearing, you'll find the Midsummer's Music e-program book under the Virtual Events tab at the website, midsummersmusic.com. That website is also where you will find the online fundraising gala hosted by Eric Lewis on October the 10th. The 10 violins that have been decorated by Door County artists will be auctioned off on October the 10th. There will also be some silent auction items up for bid. So if you're out and about in Door County before October the 10th, you have the opportunity to see those violins at some of the art galleries, but you can always find pictures of the violins, again, on the events tab at midsummersmusic.com. You can make a tax-deductible contribution to Midsummer's Music at any time. Again, you can find that at midsummersmusic.com. The musicians that we're going to be hearing on this program include violinists Ann Palin and David Perry, violist Allison Fleck, cellist Greg Sauer and Ryan Louie, and pianist Jeannie Yu. So I said one of the things that Midsummer's Music is so good about is bringing us composers that we don't necessarily know. The first composer is one where whenever I run across Mélanie or Mel Bonis, I always think of Midsummer's Music because these are the musicians who introduced me to her in the first place. Here is a composer born in Paris in 1858, loved music, was passionate about music, but didn't have a great deal of support from her parents. So she taught herself. And she was so good at teaching herself, she actually came to the attention of César Franck, who was then the head of the Paris Conservatory. He arranged for private lessons and eventually got her into the conservatory, where she more than held her own with the likes of Vincent d'Indy and Gabriel Piernet, and one guy named Claude Debussy. We're going to hear one of the over 300 pieces of music that she wrote, something she cast for traditional piano trio, piano, cello, and violin, music written in 1909. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Soir et matin, evening and morning. The evening is going to be lyrical, maybe a little bit dreamy, and morning, I can't tell if this is morning before or after you've had your coffee because it's a little bit restless. It's definitely anticipating an energetic and very good day. So please welcome pianist Jeannie Yu, violinist David Perry, cellist Greg Sauer, morning and evening, or actually in proper order, evening and morning, from Mélanie or Mel Bonis. So that was Mélanie, Bonis, and Evening and Morning, Soir et Matin, from our wonderful Midsummer's Music musicians. Our next piece comes from Germain Tailleferre, who was the sole female member of an influential music group in Paris in the 20s, Les Six, the Six. They all wanted to bring about in music the same changes that were coming to the visual arts and to literature, all that wonderful flowering of artistic freedom in Paris in the 20s. But even though they were a group, they were all very much about, we are a group only to advance our own individual voices. We aren't here to push any kind of a united movement. And Germain Tailleferre was very, very good about an individual voice. We know she worked for a time with Maurice Ravel, but she was decidedly not an impressionist. She didn't share Ravel's big color palette when it came to instrumental writing. She tended to write things that were a little bit leaner, things that felt very, very intimate, things that didn't need to be big. She originally wrote her piano trio rather early. She finished it about 1917 and finished 3 movements. She would go on in 1978 to revise the trio and then add a movement. You can expect a mix of styles in this trio. The opening movement, I guess you could say, is the closest thing she ever got to writing impressionist music, while the second movement has got the rhythmic vitality you'd find in pieces by Stravinsky. The third movement, probably the warmest movement of this trio, has more than a bit of nostalgia, more than a bit of gentle looking back. But that fourth movement, this is all exuberance. This is all about the possibility of all the great things that are to come in music. Germain Tailleferre passed away in 1983 at the age of 91. She was active until the end of her life. And we have in this particular trio, I guess you could say, music from both ends of her life. You'll hear pianist Jeannie Yu, violinist David Perry, and cellist Greg Sauer with the piano trio of Germain Tailleferre. You've been listening to Midsummer's Music with Germain Tailleferre's piano trio, something that was written or at least thought about over the course of about 60 years. We have a chance to enjoy Midsummer's Music virtually, thanks to your support and the incredible musicians who are putting their time into bringing us incredible music. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support of Midsummer's Music, not only with your ears, but occasionally with your pocketbooks. You can make a tax-deductible contribution to Midsummer's Music through their website, midsummersmusic.com.